What's up, Taiwan? Good morning. I'm Erika Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The 4th of July is Independence Day in the United States. The country that prides itself as a defender of democracy has allies across the world, but its relationship with Taiwan has been a rocky one. TaiwanPlus reporter Bing Wang examines the roots and the future of the complicated bilateral arrangement.
This may look like a typical American neighborhood, but this is Yangmingshan in Taipei, the capital of Taiwan. Once home to American military officers and their families, there are some 200 houses here, now occupied by Taiwanese residents. Beyond the facade, its history is quickly being forgotten.
Formosa, marching troops on the island fortress of nationalist China.
After World War II, the United States stationed troops in Taiwan, an effort to back the Kuomintang, or KMT, Chinese nationalists who fled to the island after losing the Civil War to the Communist Party. The KMT ruled Taiwan as a Republic of China for 50 years, hoping to eventually reclaim the mainland.
So from the period of roughly 1949 to 1965, Taiwan received around $3 billion of US aid in total. About half of that went to the military. The United States' interest in containing communism became its primary goal in East Asia and in Asia more broadly.
In 1972, to fracture the growing Communist Party of the Soviet Union, U.S. President Nixon visited mainland China. This led to the U.S. establishing formal ties with Beijing and severing relations with Taipei, pulling out its troops in 1979.
This is one of the most iconic bridges here in Taipei. First built in 1964, it's named after American war hero General Douglas MacArthur. It's a reminder of the good relationship between the KMT government and the United States.
Despite cutting ties, the U.S. maintained a presence in Taiwan and continued to sell weapons to the military. But relations with the ruling KMT soured, and the party's military leaders espoused closer ties with China on the grounds of a shared cultural identity. There were history classes and lessons in Mandarin, though people spoke Hokkien. And even after martial law was lifted, the KMT began to be seen as too pro-China.
Number one, too many KMT members who are business persons making money in China. The other one is that some supporters are empathetic with China because of their national identity.
Eventually, the KMT lost elections to the Democratic Progressive Party, or the DPP, which espoused a distinct Taiwanese identity and favors relations with the U.S.
We are the party pro-U.S.
The head of the KMT has been trying to regain voter confidence by renewing ties with the U.S. and recently opening a party office in Washington, D.C. But young Taiwanese are not looking to define themselves or their leadership by where they stand on China and the U.S., wanting to determine their own identity and their own future.
他不是保证说对台湾会保证我们的国家主权吗？但是怎么好像拜登上任之后又有一点摇摆不定的感觉。
I don't know in the future if we change a party, we change a leader of Taiwan. I don't know if this kind of relationship will ruin or change.
Recently, Beijing has stepped up its threat to take Taiwan by force, sending military planes into Taipei's air defense zone. The U.S. maintains diplomatic relations with Beijing and has stated it would not intervene militarily, but President Biden has suggested he would not stand by should Taiwan be attacked. For Taiwan's youth, defending the island's sovereignty is paramount. So should these houses again be filled with American troops, they're likely to face little resistance from the new generation of voters. Kama Xu and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
The 33rd Golden Melody Awards wrapped up this weekend with Singaporean singer Tanya Chua taking home the most trophies. She won 4 GMAs, including Album of the Year, Best Mandarin Album, Best Vocal Album Recording, and Best Mandarin Female Singer. It's her 4th win in the Best Mandarin Female Singer category, breaking a previous record set by Taiwan's Ame. In her acceptance speech, Chua said the awards gave her the strength to keep singing because she almost gave up on music. When she first started out, she could only sing in English and had to use the dictionary for Mandarin songs. TaiwanPlus reporter Yvonne Yang spoke to music producer Alex Ni to see why the GMAs hold such a significant place in the Mandopop world and where Taiwan's music scene is headed.
In early 2000s, Taiwan was the center of Mandopop. Do you think Taiwan still holds this place in Chinese-speaking world?
You know, I got my start in the music business in the early 2000s, so I specifically remember having this kind of conversation with other producers and artists at that time. And we knew that in the early 2000s, Taiwan was, specifically looking at China, but we knew that they were catching up fast. And in terms of like quality and taste in music and production technique. So back then we were just doing everything we could to stay ahead and on top of the game. But it's pretty much fair to say that China is already caught up now in 2022, if not surpassed Taiwan when it comes to the more technical things like I said, production technique and recording or engineering. But I think they still look to Taiwan when it comes to taste and culture, because if you just look at the big TV shows in China that are about music, they still feature at least one or two singers as judges that come from Taiwan. So I think Taiwan still has the singers from Taiwan still have major like star power and influence in China and other Chinese-speaking countries.
And over the past few years, the GMAs, the Golden Melody Award, have begun recognizing more indie artists. And you can see the musical diversity this year's result as well. Best New Artist went to Collage, Flesh Juicer crowned as Best Band, and Kuma Xiongzai took home Best Lyricist. Why do you think this happened?
I think, back in the day, what separated an indie artist from a mainstream artist was basically money, and a label or a company. But with the internet now, you have so many platforms and so many channels and options to put out your music without the need of so much budget, right? So half the market is probably indie artists who just upload their music straight to YouTube or Spotify or whatever. So the GMA, and actually, this is globally, like they don't really have a choice. They just naturally have to recognize more indie artists because honestly, there's less and less quote unquote signed artists and more independent artists every day.
Where do you think Taiwan's music scene is headed?
Personally, because I'm more in pop, hip hop, R&B, dance music. So I've been noticing that the R&B scene in Taiwan has been really buzzing and trending the past few years with new artists like we saw Karen CC and KVN getting nominated that day, and last year was Shishi and Joanne Baba, and you have Ozzy and Julia Wu. So I can't remember a time in Taiwan where R&B was this strong. It's like the strongest it's ever been. So yeah, I think the R&B scene in Taiwan is really growing.
Taiwan's whale watching season is heating up. Over the weekend, more than 100 spinner dolphins were spotted off the coast of Yilan in northeastern Taiwan. Nearby Hualien has also seen large numbers of pilot whales, sperm whales, and false killer whales since June. With summer vacation just beginning, operators of whale watching tours expect a lot more visitors in the next few weeks. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with images of crepe myrtle flowers blossoming in central Taiwan. The flowers have become a popular tourist attraction for the region. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.